Welcome to the Freeport High School Coaches Show with Coach Bobby Johns. Join him to discuss all things Freeport High School athletics.
All right, this is the Bobby John Show, conspicuous by his absence. It's Coach John. He is doing youth camps this week, but, man, he told us, Russell, he wants us to go ahead and press on, so that's what we're going to do. We are reporting live from Los Rancheros of Freeport. You're a wings guy. They got pretty good wings here, too.
Hey, man, they got great Mexican food, but they'll surprise you. They got some good wings, man. So if you need good wings in Freeport, I might say some of the best are right here at Los Rancheros. So make sure you make your way down here to Los Rancheros. And, hey, I'm going to do some shameless plugs real quick. And if you need any law services, go to Dunlap Shipman. If you need your air done, go to Green Air. And then also swing by McDonald's on the way right across the street. So, we got a lot of great people working with us, man.
Speaking of Green Air, I always got to talk this. Have you seen the two great billboards that they got for us up on we got one out on 20, one out on 331?
Yeah, and Blake, I'm from Portland, okay? I grew up in Portland. For those of you that are new to Freeport, go towards Nix. It's the thing you pass as you're going towards Nix on Highway 20. We got a billboard out there. We have a billboard over here on 331, and I can't tell you how excited I get seeing it. I'm a true Freeport guy.
Yeah.
Grew up here, went to school here, kindergarten through 12th grade, and man, I just can't wait for this football season to get started, for this fall sports season to get started with all these teams that have been working hard all summer, and man, just for the school year to get started. It's been an outstanding summer with everybody putting in a lot of work, so I'm super excited.
One thing about Green Air that I always want to mention is that me and you grew up here. We're OGs here, and there was a time, I think, when we were that small, rural back then, 1A school, and you could get by on just someone giving you a few dollars here, a few dollars there. Man, the landscape's different right now in this area. We are being measured against schools that back then we just weren't measured against. You've got to have top-notch support. Man, Green Air is really, really that type of top-notch support that you need. Get it going.
I think that is what makes me so excited for the future of Freeport. And when I say Freeport, I don't just mean Freeport High School Athletics. I don't just mean Freeport High School. I don't just mean the Freeport Feeder, Freeport Elementary, and Freeport Middle, who have done outstanding things this year. They were both A schools. Freeport Middle posted a video of them doing some workouts. Man, it got me pumped up. Their baseball team, football team have been working really hard. They've been collaborating with our coaches. It's been outstanding, man.
It feels different.
It's different.
Feels different. Feels different.
And when I see people like Green Air working with us, it is different. We had a couple of local businesses that they were very supportive, but they could give what they could give, and that's no knock against them because they were very supportive of our program back then, man. But when you look at it now, what makes me so excited for the future is I really do think, and I will say this, with conviction, I think Freeport is going to not just be the premier school, but the premier school feeder pattern, the premier athletic program, the premier athletic facility, and the premier place to be in the Panhandle for all athletes, students, and families alike to come here in the near future. When I look forward, I see all these businesses that are coming in. Miss Simmons this year, okay? I'm sorry, I'm going to go on, man.
No,
I'm real
fine.
excited about
No,
Freeport.
please do. Please do.
Me and him go way back. Our parents, our moms were best friends, and we get real excited when we talk about Freeport.
Yeah.
But when I look at this, okay, I'm going to go big picture for a second. We're in a district, the number 2 district in the state of Florida, right?
Yes.
Okay, number 2 out of 67, thanks to our superintendent, A. Russell Hughes, our school board. And, I'm going to say this, and if everybody wants to give me a round of applause because she deserves this, we have the best principal in the state,
There's no
Donna
doubt.
Simmons.
There's no doubt.
And, we had our highest school grade ever. We were the highest performing academic school, okay, from Jacksonville all the way to Pensacola, number 5 in the state, okay? And what makes me so excited, Blake, it's not just that we performed. It's that nobody is just okay with it.
Yeah.
Everybody is looking at what we can improve in. And it's the same thing with athletics now. I feel an energy I felt an energy this summer. I feel an energy in the school building. I feel an energy in the town. I feel an energy here today, okay, where everybody is really buying in. Our theme this year is Built to Rise, right? And I really do think our school is built to rise. Freeport's built to rise, and Freeport Athletics is built to rise. Not just physically, because we have this outstanding athletic facility, and our athletic facility is going to be similar to some that are in the area locally. But I'm going to say this: when we're looking at the plans, when we're looking at what's built, there are going to be some things that set it apart from ones that it's very similar to, and I think it is going to be the premier athletic facility in the area.
Wow!
It's going to be really nice, and I just can't wait for it to open and everyone to really see that. I've seen a buy-in, not just from teachers on our end, teachers, admin, from the office staff, because everybody just wants to get better and they want to continue to grow to really be the #1 school. We're coming for you, Nice High School. Tim Tebow went to school there. They're the #1 high school in the state of Florida for academics. But also I've seen buy-in this summer from coaches and from players. This summer, the weight room, the summer practices, man, it's been like none other. It is competitive. They are working. The weight room is full from 6 a.m. until after school when I leave every single day. Every single day, man. So I just can't wait. We got community buy-in with the Freeport Merchants Association and all of our outstanding sponsors here, and we are just built to rise. And port till we die, baby. I'm excited.
Port till we die. Listen, I was so excited about having you on because when Bobby told us that he wasn't going to be able to be here today because he's doing the youth camps he's doing for free, by the way. Some people charge their kids a whole bunch of money.
Welcome to the Freeport High School Coaches Show with Coach Bobby Johns.
Just trying to get kids bought in. I tell you what, man, that guy's a different level. We're going to talk about him a little bit later when we talk a little bit more about sports, but right now kind of just staying on the academic side. I got to Freeport as the school resource officer 2 years ago, and, man, it was incredible to see that first year. Y'all were coming off the #1 year where y'all were #1 in the area, and then to get this year, like how hungry it was after we slipped to #2 last year, that everybody was like, no, we got to get #1 again. I mean, I was incredible. I had never seen anything like it. It was the teachers. It was everybody. I mean, it was the janitor staff. I mean, it was everybody was totally bought in on that. And I mean, that's what you got to have, right?
And when I say it takes everybody, Blake, I'll say we have the best custodial staff, lunch staff. We have the best staff in the state by far. And I think what's really special is you have veteran teachers who have some of the best scores in the state when you look at assessments and growth, or veteran teachers who, do outstanding things that are still trying to get better, that have been in it 30, 45 years. Shout out to teachers like Miss Griffith, Miss Griffith's been there 40-something years, but Miss Griffith is still trying to get better every single day, and, it just doesn't get better than that, and that's really true Freeport, but it's also kind of how we're transitioning. Freeport's always been great. We've always had this family atmosphere, but it's really continuing to build to rise. I got to give credit to Miss Simmons for kind of building and cultivating that culture where everybody is truly bought in, and it's really just catapulted in the last couple of years, man.
She's been on the front lines taking bullets for Freeport for a long time, and it's good to see that looks like that's actually starting to pay off. I want to talk about community buy-in because that's something you talk about all the time. I've been very lucky to kind of be associated at times with my sports writing little thing or with anything else, to have had a front row seat to athletic programs that win championships or schools that high achieve. And I don't know if people understand the importance of the community buy-in on that, because I go back to what I said. When me and you were growing up, we had a community buy-in, but we were a small town, and I think all of us, including us, we just kind of liked Freeport for what it was. Well, times have changed. We can't be that Freeport anymore. It's not. You're not going to survive that way. We have got to excel. We can't just be happy having a good academic school. We got to have a great academic school. We can't just settle for, well, we have some sports teams. We got to start. No, we got to close the gap with some of these schools in the area, because whether we like it or not, we're competing with schools in this area that are a lot bigger and, quite frankly, have always had a lot more advantages and resources than us. Mm-hmm. Community buy-in helps you close that gap, doesn't it?
Yes, no, 100%. And, I go back to recently we had an administrator, and he kind of said that our school was like the area's best kept secret. Right, everybody didn't know about our success, our culture, and our sports teams, our accolades that we've acquired through the years. But I think we've got to the point that it's not a secret anymore. Like Walton County, it's not a secret anymore. We're here. Okay. And what I really get excited about is when you look at different businesses like Green Air that aren't just, a little bit bought in, they are fully invested, not just in Freeport football, but in Freeport overall, because when you put up the billboards like that, that is building a culture in the entire town where everybody's really starting to see kind of who we are. I'm going to be honest, you don't see things like that in other towns in the area. There's like one down in Okaloosa County where you see a billboard like that, but it's not very often that you see that. Hey, we got two here. We got one in Portland and one right there on 331, man. And it makes me super excited every time I drive past.
Well, I told you, we were actually on air last week when my wife texted me and said, oh my God, have you seen the billboard on 331? And at that point, I hadn't seen it. People like me and you have been dreaming for this day because we've always known what Freeport could be if everyone just started pulling in the right direction. I think we're starting to see that. And speaking of, I want to talk about the future athletic facilities. Now, we're going to talk more about athletics a little bit later on, but the athletic facility, again, I go back to this, back when me and you were kids, back when our parents were going to Freeport, I think you could get by with subpar stuff, and Freeport always did a great job. I think always had a great reputation of making the most of what they had to work with.
Yes,
we're past that now. We have to be able to, these parents that are coming, that they're moving into Freeport, they're looking around. It's not like it was back when we were kids and everybody just automatically, if you lived in Freeport, you went to Freeport. Whether we like it or not, it's not the way, although I do think that's getting better. Mm-hmm. You've got to be able to match some of these schools around us, fair or unfair. These athletic facilities are going to help us out a bunch, aren't they?
Well, they are, and I really think it's going to add a huge development piece because, we're really going to be able to kind of specialize in some things. Some coaches are going to be able to really focus in on some things with different teams or with their different sports of expertise and kind of really focus in on it. But compared to other schools, I think we've had outstanding facilities and we've made the best of what we've had, but it's so exciting. I got to give a shout out again to the superintendent school board, Jill Smith, who works for facilities for the district. She does outstanding work. I got to give a shout out to former Bulldog coach, Coach Arntz, because he had a huge part, a huge part in the facility and actually the planning of the facility. And that's, I think, is what's going to make it so special. Man, it looks like a college facility when you walk up to it, and it's going to be special. And it's not just going to be special because it looks fancy. It's going to be special because it's ours here in Freeport. It's going to be branded Freeport Bulldogs, and it's going to help us continue to grow and get better.
Another advantage it had, and at the time we didn't realize it was an advantage, but when some other schools in the area started upgrading their facilities before we had a chance to, I think we were all kind of a little bit rashed about that. Maybe we were kind of hoping we could get a little bit ahead of the line of there. But the advantage to that, though, was we were able to kind of look at other people's facilities and go, okay, they have a good facility, but that needs tweaking. That needs tweaking. We've got probably the best blueprint of anybody to actually facilitate these upgrades that we're getting.
Oh, no, 100%. And that's why I wanted to give the shout out to Jill Smith, because she's done an outstanding job. She's super reflective. She's looked at everything. She's worked with Miss Simmons. Miss Simmons has done an outstanding job working with her. They've had a lot of meetings, and I'm just really excited for the future of that facility. And, there's a lot of thought that's gone into it. Of course, there's a lot of thought that goes into something that's that big, but into every single detail, every meeting room, placement of outlets, placement of bathrooms, everything. Those conversations have been had, and there's a lot of thought, and it's going to be really special.
One of my favorite memories from last year had nothing to do with sports. I remember going into the teacher's lounge at various times, and it seemed like there when we were kind of in testing season, when there was one test after the other, and everybody stressed out. And I remember going into the teacher's lounge, and every day a different teacher, multiple teachers sometimes, were just going, can you believe that so-and-so made a 4 on this test, or so-and-so made a 5? And it was never the kids that, it was more kids like were me, like when I was in high school. I was a very average academic student. Like, I needed good teachers to kind of pull stuff out of me, and just the absolute buy-in, like teachers really celebrating like they're winning a ball game when a kid does well. And it's like, it's beyond just the testing of the test or the points that the school gets or whatever. There's something about Freeport about how they literally want to see every single kid excel at that. That's something I really have just been wild about.
I think that's what sets Walton County and specifically Freeport apart. You know, Miss Simmons says it. There's no big I's, there's no little U's. We're going to teach every single student that comes into our school, and we're also going to get to know every single student, get to know their families as much as we can. You know, back in the day, we already knew their families. You know, I graduated from Freeport High School in 2012. We had like 53 kids. You knew everybody because you were with them kindergarten through 12th grade. You know, so last year we had around 150 students graduate. We have around, you know, a little over 750 students right now, but we still strive to know every single student's name, know a little bit about them, and get to know them in the hallway every day. And that's really a focus for us because we want them to feel special at Freeport High School.
I knew when I started at Freeport, I had to shape up on that. Like, you've got to keep that family atmosphere there. By the way, want to say this. We didn't actually give you a proper introduction right now. You are currently the vice principal at Freeport High School.
Yes, the TSA assistant principal.
So you're getting paid to be the vice. So you've got vice principal responsibilities. You're just not getting paid for it yet.
Well, hey, I'm paid handsomely. I'm very excited to have the opportunity. I'm the TSA assistant principal. I love my job, and I love Freeport High School in Walton County.
Well, and that's why I want to have you on. You've got this unique wheelhouse viewpoint from this because you grew up here. You've seen it from so many different angles. Listen, I want to bring you back on. Can we talk sports later on?
Oh, I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah, because me and you like doing that anyway. So now
yes, we do.
All right, well, listen, we are going to be highlighting golf here in a few minutes. This fall sport going up. We've got Coach Trevin Eubanks and Coach Jason Burnham come up, and we got a lot of golf athletes here today, too. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you.
In Freeport, air conditioning is not an option. When it's 95 degrees and 89% humidity, survival instincts kick in. There is a better way. Call Green Air. Since 2015, Green Air has turned heat waves into nap weather. Fast, affordable, dependable. Our techs bring the cool when you need it most. Don't sweat it another night. Call Green Air and let us help you control your environment.
When you're hungry, nothing satisfies like McDonald's. From our famous fries to the Big Mac you love, there's something for everyone. And right here in Freeport, we're proud to serve our neighbors with fast, friendly service. Always hot, always fresh, and always how you like it. Stop by your Freeport McDonald's today. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner are ready for you.
For over 20 years, Dunlap and Shipman has stood for more than legal advice. We've stood for trust. Businesses, families, communities. When the stakes are high, they call us. From complex litigation to delicate planning, our clients count on precision, discretion, and results. Professional, proven, principled. Dunlap and Shipman, your partners in law. Visit dunlapandshipman.com.
Imagine yourself at the controls of one of these. At Phoenix East Aviation, our specialty is teaching people like you the skills needed to become a professional pilot. If you have what it takes, we have what you need. A fleet of over 65 training aircraft, best-in-class flight instructors, and the elite Redbird FMX flight simulator. So if your dream is to fly, you need to discover Phoenix East. Apply today, and we'll get you into the air.
Welcome to the Freeport High School Coaches Show with Coach Bobby Johns. Join him to discuss all things Freeport High School athletics.
Los Rancheros here in Freeport. Jason, I gotta know something, man. Look around this. Me and you, we both grew up here. You're a Freeport guy, man. A Los Rancheros, a restaurant like this, man, in Freeport. I mean, my gosh.
I mean, it's hard to kind of believe that we've got something this nice.
It's just that nice.
We've struggled through some things at times, but it's nice to have really nice places.
We are here right now with our two golf coaches. We're going to highlight golf a little bit. Fall time's coming up. Golf season's coming up. Got Coach Jason Burnham, and right here, right next to me, Coach Trevin Eubanks. And Jason, I'll start with you, man. You were kind of born into Freeport royalty. Your dad was a member of the 1968 boys basketball state championship team. I know in the late 80s, early 90s, when you went to Freeport, you played all the sports. Currently the boys basketball coach as well in your third year, coming into our third year of that. But I got to know this, of all the accolades that you've had, and you've had quite many at Freeport, tell me why the greatest is participating in the 1991 Panhandle Bowl Championship at Freeport High School. Tell me about that.
So the 1991 Panhandle Bowl, of which I'm probably one of maybe 50 people on planet Earth that participated in it, still around. First inaugural and only.
First inaugural and only.
Beautiful Osceola, Florida. It was a big deal. We won some games in a row and had a pretty good season and had a chance to play in a bowl game.
Well, I remember because that year was back when only district champions made the playoffs, and they had that one year where runner-ups, they would put them in exhibitions and bowl games as like a reward. And it was Scylla Christian, like you said. Did we play at Scylla or did we play at Tallahassee?
We played at Scylla Christian. We went over. I want to say maybe we went over a day early. They fed us, had a really nice little stuff. It was actually a nice deal. We joke about it, but it was a nice deal. We had a good time. We won it, so that was even better. Gave us a winning season. Thought we were building for the future, and we kind of slipped off a little bit the next year.
Yeah, again,
we don't talk about that.
Well, you can't talk about the Panhandle Bowl without mentioning that, though. We did think that was going to be the start of something.
We did. We thought we were jumping off.
Who were some of the players that
So we had Keith Williams as a quarterback, who ended up going to Louisville and played at Sanford. Lloyd Williams, who was back-to-back all-state selection, 1 year as a wide receiver, 1 year as a DB.
Incredible.
It was incredible, really good player. Kenny Levis was part of that group, I believe, was still there. I'm trying to think Mark Miller was probably still on that team. Some of the old Freeport people. It was old school Freeport back then.
and
we probably had 20 guys. We probably carried 21, 22 guys.
I was about to say there wasn't that many of them.
Wasn't that many of us
back then. Coach Eubanks, my man, known as being our baseball coach. I got to say this real quick, and I know we joke around a little bit, but the buy-in that our baseball kids have had since you got on campus 2 years has just been, I mean, what an incredible turnaround for this program. Have y'all got anything going on this summer? Have y'all been working hard at that?
Yeah, so actually we didn't play a ton of games because with the facilities, kind of big question mark, didn't know if we'd have a field, when it was going to be, demolished, whatever. So we really stuck to the weight room and practiced, and then we actually ended June going to an Auburn team camp, which was awesome. We ended up playing 5 games against all schools that were bigger than us, and competed very well. It was awesome. The kids enjoyed it. But as far as buy-in, I can't really say any more than that besides parents and the players and community. It's been awesome, and I look forward to continue to build it. When
we were talking to Mr. Phillips earlier, he was talking about how it's starting to feel a little different right now. One of the first things I thought about was baseball. Just those kids are so proud to be in the hallways. They're so proud to wear their jerseys. I mean, they're so proud to be part of that. And we're going to talk a lot more about baseball and basketball as we get a little bit closer to season. Right now, though, let's talk a little bit about golf, fellas. We got let's see. Golf is an interesting sport. I think it's a sport that at some places you can really overlook it, but it seems like at Freeport, we're really trying to do some things to kind of, I don't know if legitimize is the right word because we've always had a team, but I think something like to make it into something a little bit bigger, maybe take another step with it.
So I'll start with that. As far as golf has never really been in my background. My dad would never let me play because it'd mess up my baseball swing. And so actually a couple years ago when I was at Paxton, they started a golf program, and I was with Coach Bradley, and I started golfing. I'm like, man, I've missed out a lot of years. This, it's really fun. And so I end up coming to Freeport, and I'm with Mr. Bates, and he was the other coach. And at the time we had, the kids would come out, you made the team, walk on kind of thing. Hey, you want to golf? Let's go golf. And everyone was kind of just there. But now, Coach Burnham and I last year, we looked around the first meeting, and I was like, dude, we're gonna have to have some actual cuts. And some people frown upon that, and have their own opinions, but to me, that means we're growing and it's competitive. And we were just talking about it, before we came up here, like our top 5 guys from last year might not be the same top 5 guys that are all returning. And that just means guys worked hard in the off season, and some of our alternates. And like I said, we can talk about that whenever, but it's grown just in a couple of years. Like, we have 20 boys coming out for golf, and it's like we can't keep 20 guys that when only 5 go to the actual tournament. So,
well, that's I know that it's an uneasy conversation. By the way, I know this is going to come as a shock to you, Jason, but I was one of those kids that got cut at sports when I was a kid. So I know this is going to shock you, but when you do that part of that, not just growing in population, I think people understand that, but when you start getting competitive kids involved, kids that want to win, kids that actually want to get good at their craft, when you start getting more of that in, well, naturally, at some point, you do have to cut kids. I know that that's not something people like to hear, but that's actually one of them things where, like, it's kind of a sign that your program's getting a little bit healthier. And y'all have both seen that in both of the other sports as well. Talk about y'all's roster this year. I know, man, looking like some of the kids that we got, man, it looks like we got a lot of kids with some experience coming back next year.
So, just starting with boys, all 5 guys are returning. Holden Green was our number 1 last year, and then Cade Trimmel was a sophomore. He'll be returning. Carson Spain was a freshman. He's returning. And then last year, our 4 and 5 kind of alternated. But it was Caleb Hogeworth, and then Xavier Chambers ended it. But guys like Logan Gist and some other guys that have been in the off season, they've been playing a lot and stuff, so I'm excited to get going in August and see how far they've came too. So.
I saw Logan just earlier today. He was quick to let me know that he has been doing some golf this summer. He was like pretty excited about that. Hey, we actually had some kids that accomplished some things last year. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because we actually had some kids go to regionals and actually had a little bit of a healthy thing going on.
So talk about the girls a little bit. We had 2 girls that qualified for regionals, went to Jacksonville, had a great trip. Had Haley Chapman and Isabella Dickens both qualified, represented themselves very well in Jacksonville. They're both really hard workers. They're both back. Talking about like what you're saying about having to make cuts and stuff, it's really clear that these kids work on their own. Yes. Golf's not something you can just do a little bit at a time. You've got to work on your own. It takes a lot of, it's a lot of skill, a lot of practice time, a lot of work, and these kids absolutely put it in. You can tell it's not just when they're playing with us, it's on their own, all the hours of grinding and stuff that they do. And it really paid off for them last year. I think it's going to continue. You see, like you said, a shift in kind of attitude, kids that want to be good at golf, and they're putting in the work to do it.
Culture's important. Golf is absolutely no different. You still got to have some. Where are we going to be playing a lot of the games at this year, guys?
So most of them are at Eagle Springs. We try to get on at Windswept when we can, and then over at Blackwater and Crestview, we actually have a couple scheduled with Seacoast. I think at the Origins maybe.
So we're there in Watersound?
Yeah, we're trying. We're definitely trying. And Shark's Tooth is another one. So we're definitely trying to. We don't want to play the same course. Now it is nice because we play a lot at Eagle Springs, and that's actually where the district is hosted. So it's an advantage for our players. But a lot of the players want to go play different places and stuff, and it's always more fun to try a new course and challenge yourself. So. We're looking forward to that too.
Talk a little bit, if y'all can, a little bit about that Eagle Springs golf course, because that is one of our county golf courses. Man, boy, that is a place that's just it's really kind of exploded a lot in the last year. It looks so much nicer than it used to.
They've done a really, really good job with it. The staff up there's great to us. They treat us well. They give us anything we need. All the high schools in the county, the ladies that run it, the course people, everybody up there. We get a lot of work in up there. It's close by. It's really 15 minutes from the high school. It's very close. So it works out really well for us. They do a really great job. They've turned that course into a really nice course. It's busy. It's hard on them. It's not an easy thing for them to manage with all of us being up there and regular paying customers.
Yeah.
But as a county school, they're very good to us.
And they always seem to fit us in. Even if there is the public up there, or whatever. There's never been like there's never a day that it's like, oh, like Freeport's here, like and they, get frustrated, it's like, oh no, like y'all are getting on, they've been awesome, yeah.
Well, if that continues to work out with Waterside and Orange, that's another place where you can kind of get there and back a little quicker.
Yeah.
It's going to be this. What are some goals this year for these guys? What do we got going on with that?
So I'll say, as far as the boys' side, I mean, like I said, we're returning 5 starters. Holden qualified for regionals last year. I'm sure some of those younger guys that were freshmen and sophomores saw what that looked like and saw what it took to get there. And I think, they got goals individually. We're in a tough district with Catholic and some of the other schools, but as a team, I think we'll be right in the mix. And like I said, as an individual, I mean, I think we'll definitely have some guys and girls for sure go.
Well, that'd be a big deal. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me a little bit. And oh, by the way, real quick, I just got to ask you, who's the greatest comedian, Jason, and why is it Norm Macdonald?
It's Norm Macdonald, absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's because he can take a 5-second joke and make it into a 5-minute joke.
Just like we can
and it's all funny the whole time. Just
so we can take 30 seconds
That's
of content here and stretch it out for 15 minutes.
That's right.
Well, listen, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys. Good luck.
Sir.
Be looking forward to seeing y'all on campus here in a couple weeks when we get back to school.
Thanks for having
us.
us.
All right.
Yep,
yeah,
thank
you're
you.
welcome. All right, listen, we got a couple of golf athletes coming up to talk to us. We're going to take a commercial break. We are live at Low Spring Chairs in Freeport. We'll be right back. Great job.
In Freeport, air conditioning is not an option. When it's 95 degrees and 89% humidity, survival instincts kick in. There is a better way. Call Green Air. Since 2015, Green Air has turned heat waves into nap weather. Fast, affordable, dependable. Our techs bring the cool when you need it most. Don't sweat it another night. Call Green Air and let us help you control your environment.
When you're hungry, nothing satisfies like McDonald's. From our famous fries to the Big Mac you love, there's something for everyone. And right here in Freeport, we're proud to serve our neighbors with fast, friendly service. Always hot, always fresh, and always how you like it. Stop by your Freeport McDonald's today. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner are ready for you.
For over 20 years, Dunlap and Shipman has stood for more than legal advice. We've stood for trust. Businesses, families, communities. When the stakes are high, they call us. From complex litigation to delicate planning, our clients count on precision, discretion, and results. Professional, proven, principled. Dunlap and Shipman, your partners in law. Visit dunlapandshipman.com.
Imagine yourself at the controls of one of these. At Phoenix East Aviation, our specialty is teaching people like you the skills needed to become a professional pilot. If you have what it takes, we have what you need. A fleet of over 65 training aircraft, best-in-class flight instructors, and the elite Redbird FMX flight simulator. So if your dream is to fly, you need to discover Phoenix East. Apply today, and we'll get you into the air.
Welcome to the Freeport High School Coaches Show with Coach Bobby Johns. Join him to discuss all things Freeport High School athletics.
All right, we are back. We are here at beautiful Los Rancheros in Freeport. Great place. Me and Mr. Phillips were talking earlier. This is where we like to get wings. Very underrated wings. Come up here, get some food. This place is awesome. Great to have a place like this in Freeport. Got a couple other sponsors we want to give a shout out to. Mills Heating and Air. They're all over the place. They were in my neighborhood last week. They're actually on mine and my wife's emergency list in case if anything happens to our ACU. So Mills Heating and Air. They're located at the Industrial Park Complex there in Freeport if you need to stop by, or you can Google them, get their number. But Mills Heating and Air, great sponsor of the show. Also, John Smith Subs. I love this place. John Smith Subs. I love going in there, getting the Cuban, and the fries are amazing. Listen, we got McDonald's on here. McDonald's is one of our sponsors. Holden, you got a special thing you like to get at McDonald's?
I usually go for the double quarter pounder. It's just
classic.
Classic.
You can't
It's
get
reliable.
that, you know. But you get a McFlurry there every once in a while?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isabella, you can't be this shy, okay? You're not this shy when we're going this one. Listen, we've got two great athletes here, two really good kids. I'm personally really happy to see them because I love seeing them whenever they're at school, whenever I'm there. We got Holden Green, Isabella Dickens, two regional qualifiers last year in golf. A really big deal. And I got to know this because golf was something that when I was a kid, I just didn't. I mean, it was something I saw on TV, but I never, had real much access to it. Starting with you, Isabella, what got you into golf? What was kind of, do you remember that? Do you remember, kind of what got you going in it?
Yeah, I actually do remember it. I was in 8th grade, and one day in the summer, my dad forced me to go to the driving range, and I hated it for like a year. And then freshman year, he forced me to join the golf team, and then I finally started to enjoy it.
Do you still go to the driving range every once in a while? Do you still like doing that? See, that looks like that would be fun. Like I would just ripping it, just seeing how far I could go with it. Of course, I think if I got down there on the green having to putt it, man, that would just frustrate the heck out of me. I don't know how y'all do that. Is there any particular type of skill you have to learn when you get down there where it's close range like that or anything?
I think you gotta have to have a good feel, just a good estimate of distance, and a lot of just repetitive sort of practices are needed. It's very difficult to just go out there and immediately be able to figure out very small things. So it's a lot of repetitiveness, I would say.
That's what I've always thought about golf, which is just and this is not to knock any other sport, but there's a lot of sports where you could spend a little bit of time and be a little casual at it and get around. Golf does not seem like that. If you really want to be anything sort of decent, you got to put the time in.
Yeah, it's not a casual sport.
Well, I tell you what, you two were not casual last year, both getting into the regionals, which was a big deal. I know that that was something that really kind of got us a little bit of attention, and everybody was really happy about that. This year, Holden, y'all are both in very unique academic situations. I think you will be technically into your senior year for this one, and you are dual enrollment. So I will not get to see you a whole lot next year, although I do hope that you come back by whenever you have golf matches and stuff and say hi to me. But next year for golf, you got any personal goals, Holden?
I'm going to try to go for state. I mean, I was the same last year, but I fell one stage short. But I think I've put in a lot of off-season and over the summer practice where it's pretty feasible. So I'm going to shoot for it.
Talk a little bit about what you have done this summer to kind of get ready.
A lot of tournaments, a lot of traveling. I've qualified for a couple things. I qualified for Nota Gay Regional, and it's a lot of far driving. I mean, most of them being 7 hours. That one was up in Hartwell, Georgia, and played some pretty good golf there. I tied third. I just fell short of the top two for qualifying for nationals, but it felt like I was getting a lot of things in the right places. And I've qualified recently for a team event for the local tour that's down south. So I think making a lot of progress and building a lot of confidence to have a good school season.
Isabella, you got any goals this year that you want to get accomplished? You made regionals last year. I think getting back there would be a pretty cool thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I want to get back to regionals and place a little higher this year, shoot a little better.
I heard that you guys were talking earlier how it's a big deal, not just with other teams, but how y'all place even on our own team. Like that, I hear a lot about talking like that. Do you guys get a little competitive with some of your teammates on that? Right now, you're the guy everybody's chasing,
That is true. I think we have a good bit of friendly competition, friendly banter. I mean, I think you need that for any team to build up the competitiveness and the fire to want to get better and have people that want to take that spot from you on the team. And I think it kind of fuels me to stay there and know that I'm playing not easily, and I know I have even my own teammates kind of coming after that spot, and so I have a little more to fight for every day.
Well, your teammate Logan Geist talked to me earlier today. He was talking about some of the work he's doing this summer. I think he's really lit up about this school year too, man. What a year that it could be. And by the way, fall sport, you guys kind of help us start off the school year. That's going to be great. Talk a little bit about academics right now. Isabella, I think you are on pace to graduate early this year, aren't you? We said, so if everything goes according to plan, when do you plan on graduating?
I'll graduate with my AA and my high school diploma in December.
In December, so by December, you will not only have your AA, you're going to be more or less done with the academic side of school. That is incredible. I remember Nathan Hall, my buddy Nathan Hall, was the first person to actually get an AA degree and a high school diploma. I think that was back in 1994, but that is a big deal to be able to do that. And Holden, what about you, man? Where are we at with everything?
I get my high school diploma early January to graduate for class of 2027, and looking to play a little bit more junior golf, and then come the fall semester, go to college somewhere.
Yeah, I wonder if there's because you two are both very, very good academic students. You're both on the golf team. I'm starting to notice, I wonder if there's a little bit of a parallel there between golf and academics. I don't know about that. But listen, I'm really excited about seeing you guys next year. Listen, I know you're not going to be on campus a lot next year because you're going to be doing the role, but when you come back to catch the bus or whatever for golf match, everything, I want you to come by and see me. Let me know how everything's going, okay? Appreciate everything you guys do for Freeport High School, all right? And good luck this year. I'm really looking forward to following you guys, okay? All right, give them a hand, and we're going to take a commercial break, and we will be back.
In Freeport, air conditioning is not an option. When it's 95 degrees and 89% humidity, survival instincts kick in. There is a better way. Call Green Air. Since 2015, Green Air has turned heat waves into nap weather. Fast, affordable, dependable. Our techs bring the cool when you need it most. Don't sweat it another night. Call Green Air and let us help you control your environment.
When you're hungry, nothing satisfies like McDonald's. From our famous fries to the Big Mac you love, there's something for everyone. And right here in Freeport, we're proud to serve our neighbors with fast, friendly service. Always hot, always fresh, and always how you like it. Stop by your Freeport McDonald's today. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner are ready for you.
For over 20 years, Dunlap and Shipman has stood for more than legal advice. We've stood for trust. Businesses, families, communities. When the stakes are high, they call us. From complex litigation to delicate planning, our clients count on precision, discretion, and results. Professional, proven, principled. Dunlap and Shipman, your partners in law. Visit dunlapandshipman.com.
Imagine yourself at the controls of one of these. At Phoenix East Aviation, our specialty is teaching people like you the skills needed to become a professional pilot. If you have what it takes, we have what you need. A fleet of over 65 training aircraft, best-in-class flight instructors, and the elite Redbird FMX flight simulator. So if your dream is to fly, you need to discover Phoenix East. Apply today, and we'll get you into the air.
Welcome to the Freeport High School Coaches Show with Coach Bobby Johns. Join him to discuss all things Freeport High School athletics. Welcome to the Freeport High School Coaches Show with Coach Bobby Johns. Join him to discuss all things Freeport High School athletics.
Back for one last segment here. This is the Bobby Johns Show. This is the Bobby Johns Show. Conspicuous by his absence is Coach Johns. He is doing a youth camp this week, but we've got in his place my friend Russell Phillips, who's back with us for another segment. Real quick, talk a little bit about some of our sponsors. As always, Green Air. We've talked about Green Air a lot. We've got Dunlap Shipman. They do Dunlap Shipman attorneys at law. They do civil and criminal. Were you going to be a lawyer one day?
I thought I was, and I never thought I was going to go into education, but hey, I'm here now, man.
Well, I'm glad it worked out the way it did, man. I'm glad it worked out the way it did. Mills Heating and Air, they're all over the place. They were in my neighborhood this past week, and me and my wife had them on our list in case things go bad at the house. With our AC unit, John Smith Subs, Russell, listen, me and you, We've been through all the incarnations of restaurants in Freeport, especially what we believe is the glory days.
Oh, yeah.
Back when I was growing up. Actually, more kind of when I was more of a teenager. You were a little kid.
Yeah.
You know, we've been through all those. I think John Smith Subs is, man, I'm really glad to have those guys in Freeport. I love their Cuban and their fries, man. I love it.
Hey, I had the steak bomb. It's like a Philly cheesesteak thing. It was great. And I've had the Italian, both great. They have good bread. You know, I'm kind of an expert in food, as you can tell.
I can
dude.
tell, Russell.
Yeah,
I can tell.
I'm kind of an expert in food, dude, and it is good. It is really good.
McDonald's in Freeport always does good. They always want the school involved in things. So if we ever get a chance to do anything to kind of partner up with them, they are always working out. What's your go-to at McDonald's over here? You got to go.
Man, I believe it or not, I try to not go there as much as I used to when I was in high school or college. But when I do, I go McDouble and McChicken, and then that's kind of my go-to.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
okay, that's a little that's unique. There you go,
yeah.
Russell. One thing that I love about talking to you is you have just one of the most unique perspectives on Freeport sports. We talked about academics earlier. We're going to just focus a little bit, just have a little fun here, me and you talking about Freeport athletics. Can you tell everybody your background, like how did it all start? Because I remember you being a ball boy for those early 2000 Jim Anderson teams when Josh McKay was quarterback, and we were winning all those games. That was kind of like one of our early glory runs, and I remember you being a part of that. Do you have memories of that? Do you recall that?
Yes, I have a ton of memories, and that's when, you know, when people ask me about Freeport, that is why I'm so invested into this town, into this community, into this culture, is because, dude, K through 12 was in Freeport, but my mom was a lunchroom lady for 9 years at Freeport Elementary School. I spent my time in the teacher's lounge at Freeport Elementary School when I was a kid, talking with those teachers. That's kind of how I became a ball boy. Some of the players were up there. Some of the coaches worked at the elementary school. My brother started to play, and they asked if I would join, and I ended up becoming a ball boy under the tutelage. I kind of helped out with water and towels as well. I want to give a shout out.
Were you Robert Russell's GA?
Hey, I was
Were you Robert
I was
Russell's
under the
GA?
tutelage of the greatest water boy of all time, Robert Russell.
Incredible.
Yep. So super excited to have him. 26 years of service, or 27 this year. Super excited for everything that Robert has done for our program over the years. Man, he is outstanding.
Was there anything, because, you know, right now, all these years later, Coach Bobby Johns is our coach now. We're going to talk a little bit about Bobby in a minute and the future, but right now, looking back, didn't you have like a bird's eye view of one of the more infamous moments between when Coach Johns was at Bluntstown and we were playing him down here in the Port back in 2004, I believe?
Yep. So what's awesome is I kind of got different perspectives of a lot of like great Freeport like eras of football and athletics in general. You know, I was a ball boy, a towel boy during that 2003 season. So they go to Bluntstown that year. Coach Johns was actually a coach at Bluntstown. He was the coach at Bluntstown that year. In 2003, they go down. I think they beat him pretty handily during the regular season. You know, Freeport did. We beat him pretty handily. And then during the playoffs, Freeport's down at halftime, down in the fourth quarter. Yeah. It's a tight game. It's chippy. Man, it is just two 1A football schools, knock down, drag out. It is beautiful. You have Jim Anderson, Coach Morello, Bobby Johns on the other side.
Coach Morello, who's the principal, just retired from Niceville High School, but he was our longtime defensive coordinator.
Yep. You have great players, Josh McKay, the Bryants, you know, Casey Schisler. You have some outstanding players, you know, the Bates, you know, Steven Adams, players like that. Great players on that team. And I just remember being at that game, man. I was pretty young. I was a ball boy. And we finally ended up taking the lead, and I remember Bluntstown's trying to win it near the end.
Yeah.
And Casey Schisler gets a game-winning, game-sealing interception. And look, that's two 9-win teams against each other on the road, and that's our 10th win, I'm pretty sure. And it was secured a district title, correct?
Yes.
It secured a district title, and then, you know, they ended up going to play Chiefland, and that didn't go as well. But, man, that was one of my favorite games from when I was a ball boy. I do have one more that I want to bring up because, you know, we had seasons, you know, that weren't always, like, great under Jim Anderson, like, as far as record goes. But, man, he got a lot out of his players.
Yeah, when we went 5-5 under Jim, it's because we probably should have went 3-7 or 2-8, and we got 5-5. Yeah.
But I want to say this. Jim always got the most out of everyone, especially during those rivalry games. So, my brother was a senior, so I'm a little biased with this, but I got to witness up close when Freeport beat Walton. And was it 2006?
Yes.
2006, and the guy spikes it at the end of the game, on fourth down from Walton, and they get that big win. They end up being county champions, and dude, that was an awesome game because everybody was just so excited. Everybody's on the field after the game. That was a really, really fun time in Freeport football.
When you were a ball boy, you were doing all that. You were down there in them early years. We had those back-to-back 9-win seasons. We had the playoff appearances. And at the time, we had never experienced that before. Then a few years later, you're a student. I cannot think of a better 4-year stretch to be at Freeport High School for football than you were from like 2009 to 2012. What was it like being a student and a player during that time where we had a Final Four and went to the regional finals 4 straight years?
So, I wasn't a great player, but I was like I am now. I'm still a super fan of Freeport, but I was a super fan of Freeport back then. And I'm going to say this, and I don't think this is confirmation bias or nostalgia speaking. We had 310 students-ish back then, and we were packing like the student section back then with 50, 60 kids. I mean, it was running deep. And when you count all the players, cheerleaders, and band, that's like half the school there. And that doesn't count everybody that's just at the game, not participating in the rest of it.
That was before Hammock Bay really got big, too. Like, we were still a really small town.
Yeah. I was really big into that. Miss Simmons was actually our sponsor, so we rode the bus to all the away games. We'd get painted up, get real loud, but, man, we had a ton of success. And, something that I think can kind of parallel some things that I see this summer. And, I think when you look at a sports team, I think you need them to be at least 2 of the 3. They need to be tough, they need to be disciplined, and, they need to be talented. Sometimes the talent doesn't come overnight. There's development. There's, players coming up. There's collaboration with the middle school, with the youth leagues. They're doing great stuff with that now. The youth leagues are doing a great job in all facets. But, when I look at that first year, my freshman year, everybody thinks, we just were this outstanding team. That first year, they were I think a little over 500.
Yeah, right.
And but dude, they were tough and they were disciplined and they developed. And I kind of want to go back to Bobby Johns, okay? Because I talked to Bobby Johns about that game, and of course I'm going to say this: Coach Johns hates losing. So do I. I like winning, but I hate losing 1,000 times more. I really do. I have some friends here supporting, and they can attest to that. I hate losing. But Coach Johns, the season after, he was with Bluntstown, okay? They lost to Freeport in that game, and he said he really reflected on that. He reflected on his scheme, how he worked with his team. And Bluntstown that next season, they lost in state, but they went 15-1 with the exact same players -1, the exact same team that wasn't a bunch of transfers, exact same team, 15-1, 5,000-yard rusher. They had a 1,200-yard receiver. They broke the state record for rushing at the time. And they won 15-1, and they were just running through people. And that's what I like to see, is that toughness, that discipline built in when you watch them play. And sometimes the talent's not there right away, but that development continues when you get that buy-in. And, I saw that this summer in the summer programs and all the sports. So I'm really excited for the future for that.
Well, and again, you got to be there in them early 2000s. You got to be there when you were there, 2009, 2012. And you're saying – there's a little bit of a feel, like you kind of see when success is coming on the horizon. Talk a little bit about Bobby a little bit, because, I really feel like he's a difference maker. And what I mean by that is he doesn't have an off button. I mean, he's not here tonight because he's running a free youth camp. He does not stop. He visits every business in town. He wants everybody bought in. And just this little bit of time around him, the kids are bought in. There's definitely an energy feel there. When you see that, I mean, talk about the excitement maybe you have for the future.
Well, I mean, when you look at all the things that Coach Johns is doing in the future, and, what he's doing going out in the community, working with the kids, working with our coaches, and working with everyone, man, he is just a grinder. I don't have any other better way to put it. but he just puts his nose to the grindstone and works every single day. And I see it at work. I'm there in the office, and there's no off button, like you said. Like,
none.
He packed up, moved, living in a camper, and he was just at work every day, getting everything, every single ounce of work that he could get out of every single day. And I mean, it was awesome to see. And one thing that I love to see is I think that's going to marry. We got some great coaches that were already on staff that do some great things. You know, Coach Benham does a great job as an outstanding coach, you know, works extremely hard. Coach Cole is an outstanding coach, and the rest of the existing coaches, Coach Cole does a great job connecting with players. And I think that's just going to continue to grow, and everyone's going to kind of, that's cultivating now. And that's what I just think it's going to continue to kind of jump up. And that's what we're talking about, is that propulsion forward.
There was kind of a missing piece there for a while. This isn't to knock anything or anybody, but you know, it was almost like you got this is kind of going okay over here. You've got a little bit of community buy-in way over here, but it's just a little bit. Maybe you got someone in the community or two over here. You got a couple kids that care. There's something about what's happening now with Coach Johns, or I think he's like a magnet. It's like now it's all starting to kind of draw together a little bit, and I think that's so important.
Yep, and I think it's just married with kind of, you know, I said built to rise, and I talk about the town and the businesses that we have in here. You know, when I look at that, I think when you marry businesses that are willing to contribute with somebody like Coach Johns, who is willing to just work, because when people see somebody that works like him, you know what they say? I want to go work with that guy. Because when I see him every day, I want to go work with that guy. You know, and that's exactly what I think businesses are seeing, because they see, you know, him out in the community. So I really do appreciate that. And I think he came into a foundation that he's not used to coming into. We had a great foundation here at Freeport High School, and I think he was able to just really, you know, jump on it when he got here.
Yeah, I think something that always needs to be said is Coach Benham, Jeff Benham. You know, the second after last season ended, Coach Benham had the guys already in the weight room, you know, and they were already going in for 6 a.m. workouts, and then eventually Coach Arntz resigned. But during that dead area, you know, Coach Benham, Coach Cole, these guys weren't just sitting around. You know, they were working.
I have to give them.
They didn't even know who the coach was going to be, but they had those kids in the weight room at 6 o'clock a.m. And Coach Johns has said numerous times on the record and off, he had never had anything like that at any of his other
I
stops.
can't give enough credit to how professional and how awesome Coach Cole and Coach Benham were during that kind of transition period, because they handled it wonderfully. They had our players working. They had our players bought in. I mean, it was fun to see. There was an energy even before we hired a coach, when you went out to just workouts, the voluntary workouts in the weight room with Coach Cole and Coach Benham, and the rest of the coaches really bought in. And then, you know, Coach Johns kind of came and just jumped on that, you know, and added fuel to the fire. And then next thing you know, you got Braxton Durgan throwing up 275 and the entire team jumping on him. And then it goes down to the middle school, and it's going down to the youth league. So.
And they copycat it.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been missing. I'm going to put you on the spot. We got a couple more minutes. I'm going to put you on the spot. This coming up football season, and I know you're kind of in a tough spot. I know I might be asking a little bit hard question, but what are you expecting out of this football team this year that maybe we hadn't been expecting in the past?
That's a difficult question for me right now. I think I kind of answered it. You know, we did win some tough games last year where they kind of went back and forth, but I think I see more buy-in from the players this year, and buy-in not just to the program, not just into the coaching, but buy-in to each other. And when you have that trust in one another, I think that really translates to on-the-field production. So I think that is going to help them produce on offense, defense, special teams, and that's going to be contagious. And I think that toughness, that discipline, and there is some talent there, and it's all going to kind of marry together due to that buy-in that's kind of cultivated in the weight room and with everything that they've done this offseason.
I'm actually looking – I know a lot of people have different opinions about this. This is mine. I'm actually looking forward to playing at the old high school football stadium.
Oh, I'm so excited. One of my first memories is actually going to a game. This was before I was a ball boy, was going to a homecoming game there. And it's a cool environment because it's right there in the middle of Freeport, right there on Kailea Laird. There's houses all around, and there may be some logistics that we're going to be prepared for that. We were lucky that we had the opportunity to host a graduation, so we learned a lot from that.
Sure.
And I think the parking and everything went pretty well with that, so we're just going to learn from that, continue to move forward. So but I think it's going to be an awesome environment. I know you mentioned maybe rolling the big oak tree, and
I would love that.
I'll show up if we get a big win and you roll the oak tree. I'm showing up on a Saturday to help clean it up, man. I'm there.
Maybe we can get the fire department to come down and shoot all the toilet paper.
Hey, there we go.
Like we used to have to do. Well, listen, Mr. Phillips, thanks for being here, man. I'm really super excited about the school year. I know you are extra excited. We had a great academic year last year. We're going to have another good year this year. I think the sports thing is just on the rise. By the way, volleyball, I think, keep a lookout on them this year. I think they're going to surprise some people. I know people are thinking that thing's going to dip. I don't think so, man. I think Stacey Benham's going to have them going this year. They had tryouts this week, and a lot of people trying out that haven't tried out past. But anyway, Mr. Phillips, thank you for being here today, man. Love you, brother. And thank you from Lost Road Cheros. And thank you. Oh, real quick. Gracie Hernandez, Peyton Eschenwick, and Lexi Mendez, our cheerleaders here tonight. They're the best. It makes it so much better when you guys are here. And thank y'all for being here. We're going to have a great year next year. We'll see y'all next week from somewhere. Take care.
In Freeport, air conditioning is not an option. When it's 95 degrees and 89% humidity, survival instincts kick in. There is a better way. Call Green Air. Since 2015, Green Air has turned heat waves into nap weather. Fast, affordable, dependable. Our techs bring the cool when you need it most. Don't sweat it another night. Call Green Air and let us help you control your environment.
When you're hungry, nothing satisfies like McDonald's. From our famous fries to the Big Mac you love, there's something for everyone. And right here in Freeport, we're proud to serve our neighbors with fast, friendly service. Always hot, always fresh, and always how you like it. Stop by your Freeport McDonald's today. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner are ready for you.
For over 20 years, Dunlap and Shipman has stood for more than legal advice. We've stood for trust. Businesses, families, communities. When the stakes are high, they call us. From complex litigation to delicate planning, our clients count on precision, discretion, and results. Professional, proven, principled. Dunlap and Shipman, your partners in law. Visit dunlapandshipman.com.
Imagine yourself at the controls of one of these. At Phoenix East Aviation, our specialty is teaching people like you the skills needed to become a professional pilot. If you have what it takes, we have what you need. A fleet of over 65 training aircraft, best-in-class flight instructors, and the elite Redbird FMX flight simulator. So if your dream is to fly, you need to discover Phoenix East. Apply today, and we'll get you into the air.
Welcome to the Freeport High School Coaches Show with Coach Bobby Johns. Join him to discuss all things Freeport High School athletics.